So in the last video, we talked about just how to find the average of the entire group or an entire range. In this video, we're going to look to answer the question, how do you find the average for a group of students based off a certain criteria? So for example, your principal comes to you or your administrator comes to you and says, hey, I want to know the test average for all of your kids in first period. There are some tricks that we can do with filtering and some ways that we can count, but it just takes too long. So we're going to utilize a formula to speed this process up. So here, going back to our spreadsheet, we have our average scores now for period 1 on test 1. We're going to start by writing our formula, equal average. And again, Google's going to try to predict what I'm doing. And this time, instead of using just the regular average, we're going to use average if. And what average if does is that it takes the average of any cell that meets certain criteria that you've set. So for example, we're looking just for a period 1. So we have to look over here now and see that that's column F. So I'm going to go ahead and select column F and say, okay, my criteria is somewhere in here. We're going to put a comma, quotation mark, and then we're going to tell it what our criteria is. Since I'm looking for period 1 and it's listed here just as a 1, I'm going to write 1. Close that quotation mark, and then I'm going to put a question or a comma again. So now we've told it, hey, look here first. And anytime you see a 1, so this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, you're going to find the average. Our next thing is to tell it what to find the average of. Since we're looking again at test 1, we're going to go to column G to finish our formula, and we're going to close the parenthesis. So the way that the formula works again is average if. You tell it the range where your first criteria is, you tell it what the criteria is, and then you're going to tell it what to average. Hit enter. And again, since we pre-formatted this cell to automatically show percentages instead of numbers, it changed it. If it didn't, you can go back and do that again. In the last video, I explained how to do that. But this formula is super, super helpful for when you have to look for certain subgroups of students within a bunch of data. Like I said, the long way, now that you know the short way, is I can click on period. I can click here to create a filter, do that filter, hit OK, highlight all the students, and try to find the average of that by using some of the stuff on the bottom here. Click here, average. Okay, cool. Takes way too long, and again, isn't dynamic. It's very static. Once I start adding kids, I have to do this over again. By using the formula, as I add a 15th row here, it's going to automatically update and take care of all the work and automatically do it and save you some time. So in the next video, we're going to look at how to find the average based off of multiple criteria.